What advice would you give to other people who's trying to do similar things to you, in terms of as I said, I've noticed how you talk still, and most of the time you're always in like you ain't never overexcited or nothing. You look like you got a look on your face like when people start talking about all types of things that's going off code, like you've heard it all before, and you ain't like you're just waiting for them to finish so that you can go back on track. How do you what advice would you give to people in order to communicate better?
Don't emotionally connect yourself to words. Yeah, don't emotionally connect to conversations. Right? You have to have a bigger plan. Now, I'm saying that I want to help black people, and black people might be in like some hard places. So that means many black people are gonna have hard words, and many non-black people are gonna have hard words. I know this before starting the conversation. Yeah. So I'm not gonna emotionally connect myself to words that they say, I say. The goal's there. The goal is to improve black people locally and globally in all areas of people activity. It's there. It makes sense, right? So, and this is a collective. So the individual words of people doesn't mean nothing, because it's a collective, isn't it?
At the same time, I've heard you say, rotted. Don't worry about it. At the same time, I heard you talk about late night language.
Late night language, yeah.
Yeah. So if the words ain't that important, why is it an issue for why have you even coined the phrase late night language?
Because a team is only as fast as its slowest runner, right? So for me, I grew up listening to hip hop, so you could swear all day and I won't even notice it, right? It's nothing for me. But this is a collective thing. So if I'm trying to get people to come to join collective and to listen to certain messages, that means certain languages you use could repel them. So it's about being a team player. So my grandma's friend, your grandma, your religious Bible study buddy, whatever, yeah, they might come along. So if they're coming along, it's best to have, for me, it's best to have like a code of conduct that allows them to actually hear information and not be repelled. Sometimes before they can even hear certain type of information, there's anxiety attacks and people arguing. That's why a code of conduct is necessary. That's why everything I do has a code of conduct.
But when you're trying to reach people, do you have like a particular type of person what you're trying to get that you value over the next person, or is it just numbers? In terms of
everyone's valuable, brother, isn't it? Like, everyone's valuable. Like,
yeah, but I'm saying in terms of I swear you said even earlier you rather have like a few set of people that's
300 dedicated people. So
yeah.
So like I said, there's a place for everyone, but the idea is dedication, isn't it? It's like being dedicated.
Yeah.
As in, like, it's something that you really want to do because it's the right thing to do.
And how do you go about identifying the people you think will be most dedicated?
Like I said, if someone says they're a banana tree, they should give you bananas. If they start giving you apples, it's a problem, isn't it? If they don't give you anything, then that's what's going on there.
Have you noticed any patterns what you've used to identify who these people might be?
It's very simple, isn't it? It's something they say they're going to do. It doesn't match up. It doesn't match up. But what I'm saying is, I identify that as a shortcoming. And what I try to do is I look at the constructive things people do and uphold them on that, and maybe privately try to improve them on their shortcomings. That's one thing I think we should all do as black people, like going on YouTube and looking at people and just talking about their shortcomings all the time. I think start with something they do that's well. I mean, you see it with all the brothers there trying to be constructive, and you have comments talking about other things that has nothing to do with what they're doing, or like maybe past problems or things that they think is not right or whatever. I think if you're going to approach someone, if a person's trying to do good works and all you're saying is negativity, that can really mess up a person's whole psyche, innit? And I'm saying, what's the benefit of that? I'm saying, try to start with, well done, brother, for going out in the cold and trying to get your message across. I disagree with this, but I understand, and whatever.
So do you feel like those people who do leave those type of messages, not the example what you gave, but counter ones where it seems like it's mostly just criticism. Do you feel like they're concerned and they genuinely want some change, but they just don't know how to vocalize it? Or do you think they just...
It's hard to pinpoint, but some people are, there's people who are trolling, right? Where it's like, and that's the issue there. Like, there's a psychological thing that's going on where people want attention, and the best way they feel they can get it is by, having a hidden character who you don't know who they are, where they're from, and the fact that someone is actually messaging back is the joy in their world. It's like, this is an amazing feeling.
Okay.
But there's an issue there. Like, there's something in their life that they haven't got. There's something that they're missing. And that's why I don't entertain trolls, but when I do entertain trolls, it's to try to help them out.
Okay.
Because there's obviously a problem. That's not normal behavior.
So what you help them, like asking them questions why they're doing what they're doing and stuff like that?
I ask them, why are you doing what you're doing? Like, what values do they have? When was the last time?
I still do the same thing still if I engage them still.
Yeah, because there's a shortcome, isn't it? There's a shortcoming. So if I have time, which I very rarely do, I might entertain that. But generally, I don't entertain trolling.
Yeah. So what would you say to people who are like out in the park doing the works and they're getting trolled and they start replying to trolls and that? What would you say to people like that?
Well,
because you like as you just said, if you're going to respond to them, it's going to be more to ask questions of why they're doing it, to try and help them, innit?
Yeah.
Rather than joining the trolling car. I see a lot of people get caught up and get caught in the sauce still.
Let's see if this universal rule I follow or try to follow might work in this context, right? I say I only hang around with constructive people, and if I'm hanging around destructive people, it's to make them constructive. You see, that there's no purpose or value in hanging around a destructive person unless you're trying to make them constructive. Like, there's no example you can give me where something pans out great. So if I'm hanging around someone who identifies as a very destructive person or practicing a very, destructive nature or whatever, my goal is to make them constructive because there's no value in them doing that. Like I said, I'm very proud of myself because if I can do this, anyone can.
Why you keep on saying that for?
Because
as if you ain't that.
Because I'm showing, high levels of control from what I'm seeing, right? And the person I was before wasn't. You understand? It's like it's identifying something and being committed and being consistent. So I've given myself that challenge. It's like
I was able to, like, if you're saying that you weren't always this person, I was able to turn into that person. Because that's got that level of dedication to stay on code, as you put it.
Because there's a certain point where you have to reveal yourself and realize that something just ain't working. Yeah. For me, it's coming from a poor household and not being educated. It's like I thought, you know what? If I continue this way, it will get worse. Like, I will remain poorer and there will be no options to get out of this.
I ain't trying to, like, give man no unnecessary big up on that, but I don't feel like I ain't gonna say you're special, like when no one else can't do what you're doing, but I don't think it's as simple as just saying it, and people who's right now going through a madness or ain't got as much discipline is just gonna have it overnight like that.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
It's like this, bro. I'll be honest with you, right? Thank you for that. But yeah, I say this, right? I keep saying it. If a man like me I learned how to read when I was 15, yeah?
You learned how to read when you was 15?
15. I learned how to read, right? Yeah, they said my area was the poorest in Europe. I don't know if that's true, right? Yeah, I didn't eat for most times. It was hard times, right? Yeah, my dad died when I was 7. Yeah, so it's like, whatever. It was whatever. Everyone's going through what they're going through. But what I'm saying is, I wasn't learning. I was just there, right? And I decided to be dedicated for change in it. I decided to be constructive, and I'm here. And I'm still on my journey now, bro. And I'm saying, if I can do it, anyone. It's that simple. Like I guarantee. Go meet a 12-year-old, 15-year-old rap Raven. I guarantee the average person is doing better than him.
Yeah.
I'm hands down. Go talk to my friends, innit? I was in a group called Jerome. Do you understand what I mean? There was high, middle, low, Jerome. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. There was no lower. Yeah. So, being dedicated for change in it, valuing betterment, valuing it. And I put my effort in realizing that my people, the people I identify my people, need help in it. Because if we don't help ourselves, no one will. And it makes sense. And that's why, hopefully, anytime you see me, I'm consistent. If I'm saying I'm around black people, if I'm around you, you should go, when I'm around Raven, he's constantly asking me if I need help. He's constantly giving me advice. He's constantly doing that, innit? When I see him over there, he's constantly doing that, innit? Now, if I'm one guy who couldn't read at 15, I was in a group called Jerome, yeah? And I'm doing that. Can you imagine if everyone else did that, bro? Literally, if everyone's had these kind of practices, like, whoa. Do you know what I mean? It's that simple. And I'm talking about tangibility, bro. So I've got a WhatsApp group. If you got a phone, you got WhatsApp, yeah? In that group is 400 people dedicated to being constructive. I wanted to be in it, right? Bruv, you mans can do it yourself. You can, here's what I tell people. Get a group, right? Call it Black Belt and Bill, or call it whatever, mango, chutney, whatever, right? And in that group, only post constructive information. Just post that, yeah? And so every time you see that little icon, you know it's constructive, innit? Right? Tell me if your reality doesn't change, but every time you look at something, it's constructive. I've identified that when a person lives in constant negativity, right? That's all they're gonna know. I've lived in negativity, I've lived in positivity, and I'm realizing, yeah, by being around positive energy, I'm more positive. By being around negative energy, I'm negative, right? It's not even like rocket science, like, oh, that kind of makes sense, right? So I'm saying, be the change you want to see in it.
So, that's what I'm saying though. What was the positive energy that you got introduced to or exposed to that made you change?
It's like this, let's be honest, bruv, right? Regardless of how we flip it or bounce it, we know we're in a negative area. We know that, there's something we're doing that ain't right? And we're getting away with it, right? And it comes to the point where you think, you know what? I can't keep doing this forever, yeah? And you think, when you realize that, then you think, what options do I have that I can go down? Who can I speak to in it? Who can I talk to who's actually moving forward, right? It's like this, yeah? You're here, and your friends are here, right? Yeah? You want to get your friends up here. You don't want to go down there. It's that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Man's gonna get into start getting into some of the audience questions still. But before we do, if there's anything else you wanna touch on before we get into that I ain't gone through, or you anything else you wanna elaborate on?
Here's what I want. So basically, I'm always about black people asking questions, yeah, and networking. So I would like, if anyone's seen this video, I'm starting a Facebook. I've got Facebook groups out there, but I need like editors, people who can be dedicated in these forums to be posting information that comes on their page. So if you go on mountmelanin.com, whatever, and just go on Facebook and type in Mount Melanin, hook me up, and let's try to get as many black people on like a betterment building thing. And one way I'm identifying that is by joining Mount Melanin. Well, you could do it yourself. You could start your own kind of Facebook group or whatever you can do, and it's being dedicated to just betterment. So that's what I'm pushing out there.
Content over everything from Mount Melanin. Man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen! COE! Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't even listen to Sky YG. I just listen to COE!